Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course. Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering. Off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. I'm playing a series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff and drink stuff, then, folks. I can't really. I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. Originally, I was going to go to Dunkin' Donuts, but there were too many people in the line, and I just wasn't going to mess with that. And then I was like, wait a second, this is a better option anyway. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is definitely the case today. As I just stated, like I said, originally I was on my way away from work. Hooray! My favorite part of work is when I leave. And I don't even have a bad job or anything. It's just, look, if somebody went over there and showed up at my door and was like, here's $85 million, you never have to work again, I would not be one of those people like, oh, I'm gonna keep working. No. But I went over there. I made my way. I was making my way home, and like I said, originally I was planning to hit the Dunkin' Donuts, but it was just too much, man. There was just a huge freaking line, and I was not gonna be one of those people who actively blocked traffic by waiting in the Dunkin' Donuts line. Don't do that, by the way. Okay, if it's that fucking packed, make your way into the parking lot. All right, don't be a shithead. Just saying. Anyway, so I just said, screw it, man. I'll go a little bit further out of my way. I'll hit up one of my favorite local spots to go over there and get some brew. Specifically, boom, Brewpoint coffee. This being the Elmhurst location. If you're unfamiliar with Brewpoint coffee, they're a small chain of sort of, a little bit more upscale coffee places. I've reviewed plenty of stuff from them in the past. I think they're a great establishment. And that's why I've reviewed so much stuff from them. Also, they're an Illinois establishment. Well, them being an Illinois establishment, that means that this review is going to end up on my Eating Out Illinois playlist, which is a playlist for just Illinois spots. But what is this? This, specifically, this is off of their winter menu, is their Nut-Nog Latte, which consists of oat nog milk, spiced brown sugar syrup, espresso, and nutmeg. All right, sounds pretty fancy. Let's get a thing for the thing here. We'll kind of, with the thing, it's all of the thing, and we'll just kind of go, ha 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 ha. Let's give it a shot. And it only comes in this size. I don't know why, but I originally asked for large, and the girl behind the counter was like, I'm sorry, it actually only comes in this specific size. So just to let you know, if you decide to go over there and pick one up yourself. Let's give it a go. Ooh. Maybe it has to do with like the ratios or something. I don't know. That's really tasty. Yeah, like you can taste that spiced brown sugar syrup. Like it's got a little something, almost like almost kind of like a spiced gingerbread kind of thing. And they do actually have I think they have a gingerbread latte as well. But I wanted the Nut-Nog. Really nice and creamy. Very smooth to drink. No real like bitterness or anything like from the coffee or the espresso. It's more, just again, it's a very smooth experience. Because if you watch my channel, like you already know, I don't really do like straight coffee stuff very often. Like you got to add shit to it. I'm one of those guys. But at the same time, you still want to have some essence of the coffee. But I don't like the bitterness typically. So in this case, one of the things that I've always gone over there and really sort of praised Brewpoint for is that you can taste the quality of their coffee, even with the other stuff inside. And that's definitely the case here. Like I said, it's very smooth. It's a rewarding experience to drink this. And it does, because it's going for like a nog, kind of thing. And as has been the case typically in the past with their other flavored drinks that I've tried, where they've gone over there and tried to, emulate some sort of specific flavor, they're definitely doing a good job here. I mean, it's obviously not going to be one for one or anything, but like, yeah, there is, with that specific little edge to the spice, gives it that little spiced eggnog kind of vibe. I also think using the oat milk in this instance, because this is one of those ones, like usually they ask you, they say, hey, do you want whole milk or whatever? But this one, the oat milk is, part of the concoction, as it were. And I think that's a really smart decision because not only does it give it, just a smoothness and a creaminess from the oat milk, but it gives it a little nuttiness, the Nut-Nog, as it were. So it's nice. Like, it has a little bit of an earthiness. It's not overly sweet. Another thing that I've typically gone over there and been very favorable for when there comes to their drinks is that their drinks, even their flavored drinks, don't taste like dessert drinks. They taste like artisanal, like they're well crafted, but they're not trying to go over there and play to, just basically people with the palate of small children. It's really nice. I like that a lot. It's got a nice little edge to it, again, from that spice flavor, but then it kind of tapers off and it's just back to being very smooth and very creamy. It's a really nice drinking experience. And it does have a little bit of a sort of eggnog kind of vibe to it. I like it, man. I like pretty much everything I've had from Brewpoint. There have been a couple of them where I was like, okay, didn't impress me as much as I'd hoped. But this one, I would say, has more than met my expectations. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Absolutely and absolutely. I think this is a really good one from them. Like I said, there have been a couple in the past. I couldn't tell you which ones off the top of my head, but there have been a couple in the past where I was like, yeah, okay, I was expecting it, to be like this big, amazing thing, and it was kind of, decent, but didn't blow my socks off. This one, I'm not going to show you because my socks are grody and terrible from the job that I do, but trust me, if they could fly off from my boots, they'd be off. Because that's really good. And I think that it, not only is it evocative of the flavors that they're going for, it's evocative of, the holiday season and, that whole sort of theme that they're playing off of. It's great to go over there and have seasonal menu items and stuff like that. But you need to go over there and make it feel appropriate. And I personally feel like this feels appropriate. It's a really nice drink. Everything about it I enjoyed. I will certainly enjoy the rest of it. If I have one complaint, it's just that I only have a smaller cup. I would have liked a large. But if I'm recommending it, I'm absolutely recommending it. Again, I think that Brewpoint, by and large, man, like I'm not a coffee, I'm not like a coffee guy or a coffee place guy, right? I'm not like gonna sit there, do the whole stereotypical late 90s, early 2000s thing, hang out at a Starbucks with my laptop writing a screenplay. I'm not that guy, okay? I'm not going to show up in an episode of Friends. I'm not that guy. If I showed up in an episode of Friends, one of the baristas would go over there and immediately come and see me and be like, sir, if you could please just escort yourself out of the fucking business, we would appreciate that. That's how I look most of the time. And that's fine, I get it. It's discrimination. But, but I really do, I hold Brewpoint in very high esteem, I haven't been to their other locations, but I would imagine that they're all well-staffed and, put together a fine product like the one in Elmhurst does. And if I had a spot, it would be Brewpoint, for sure. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there themselves a truly nutmeg eggnog-tastic rest of your life. I like eggnog. I did an eggnog special last year or the year before that, but it's there. I drank a shitload of eggnog, so you can go look for that one if you're interested. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But, what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, let me know, what's your opinion on eggnog? You know, it's a festive drink, but it's certainly divisive. Not everybody likes it. Do you prefer the boozy eggnog? You know, like I said, if you want my thoughts on eggnog, go watch that special episode. It was, I think like 8 different types of eggnog or some shit like that. It was a bunch. So,